those things don't change when transgender women suppress testosterone. They don't get shorter. They've still got big lungs.
We will defend the proud tradition of female athletes, and we will not allow men to beat up, injure, and cheat our women and our girls. From now on, women's sports will be only for women.
You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together.
Pops.
About to be a pops.
You want your son to call you Pops, and whenever his friends ask, what does your dad do for a living? He's supposed to say, oh, he plays in the WNBA.
The medical records of Brittney Griner were just made public. Furthermore, if the allegations are true, it demonstrates that she was not born a woman. We are discussing hormones, surgery, and everything else to the sort of material that the league thought would never be touched. However, it's currently out and untidy. For several years, Griner has been a member of the WNBA. However, everything began to fall apart once she went viral by calling Caitlin Clark a garbage F-word white girl from the bench. Because it was more than just a passionate sporting occasion. She had a complete collapse about her past after watching the clip. Her genetics doesn't match what the league marketed to the public, according to physicians, after she was sent to a male prison in Russia. The worst aspect is that the WNBA is currently silent, which only leads people to wonder how long they have been hiding this. Let's get started. Therefore, it was enough to garner media attention after Brittney's outburst on the bench, in which she labeled Caitlin Clark a garbage F-word white girl on tape. But immediately after, the real mess struck. Because purported medical records began to appear online as soon as the clip went popular. Furthermore, these weren't merely TikTok rumors or fan speculations. Names, numbers, paperwork, medical terminology, and what those reports purportedly revealed. Bone structure that reads masculine, testosterone levels that are out of range for women, and even information regarding previous surgeries. Transitional rather than athletic. People were in awe. Additionally, things began to make sense because this is what trainers had been preaching for years. Brittney doesn't recover as quickly as the other players in the league. We are discussing injuries that should require weeks to recover from. And in days as if nothing had occurred, she is back on her feet. Give me a moment to demonstrate this to you. Everyone initially dismissed it, stating, "Oh, she's just built differently." However, when you combine that with everything else, including the voice, recovery pace, and frame, and then consider how male athletes usually recover from injuries, that sentence is hitting very differently now. Yes. The puzzle pieces quickly begin to fit together. Fans were boisterous, while they remained silent. People weren't going to ignore this. To better comprehend what they were seeing, they went into full detective gear, playing back previous game film, pausing interviews, rewatching training sessions, and even browsing through sports science articles. And it became increasingly apparent the further they dug. Because Brittney's movements, jump height, reach, and power behind her dunks simply don't match those of the typical WNBA player. Not even close. Check out this highlight reel now. This was the video that made people look twice. Like, hold on a second.
Like, wait a minute.
McLaughlin will let her go. No look pass for Griner and a dunk!
I mean, no one else. No other woman who plays basketball can do that. Two-handed, 2 feet, just goes up. I mean, you're going to give it.
Are you implying that the majority of players in that league find it difficult to even touch the rim? Hurry up. The distinction is obvious and not subtle. And then there's that video, the one that made everyone gasp. On Instagram, Brittney Griner shared a topless video. No cover-up, no bikini. This is when things get wild. It was not highlighted in any way. She was treated like a male user by Instagram's AI. Now, I want you to quickly watch this and consider if it would still be up if it were any other WNBA player.
Swaggy, Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the hell out of here, yo. Jab stepping, it's a brick. Swing and a miss. Oh! Yo, I ain't gonna.
And let's face it, the questions didn't begin yesterday, therefore it doesn't end there. The shoulders, the base, the voice. Shade, isn't it? People have simply been observing it since the beginning. However, what she said after the baby arrived truly made people take notice. Griner informed a reporter bluntly that she preferred to be referred to as Pops rather than mom or parent. Hold on now. After raising a baby, most women don't expect others to treat them like their father. To avoid giving the impression that something is being misrepresented, let me show you what she truly stated.
I think there's probably one other job that you're about to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops. Please tell me how exciting that is for you and what you're looking forward to most.
I'm super excited. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just drop it. He's here. So he's here. Yes. 7/8/24.
Hey, listen, say what you want, but people stopped being charming after that. Some people completely ceased referring to her as Brittney. Not even in jest, they are now referring to her as Brittney Griner. Therefore, it is not hate speech when fans claim that Brittney Griner dressed like a woman. People are connecting dots that the league didn't want anyone to discuss. Now, this is where folks get really upset, and understandably so. Women's sports were developed for purposes other than amusement. They were created to provide equal opportunities for female athletes. One in which they could compete without being physically defeated by someone who moves and gains muscle like a guy does by nature. What are we doing, though, if Brittney Griner is ruling the WNBA without ever providing official documentation of her gender identity? Furthermore, it ceases to be fair competition and begins to resemble robbery when a player like Brittney Griner, who is said to possess all the physical attributes of a male athlete, takes the court. Listen to this tape now, as even league leaders have begun to express what many athletes and parents have been yelling for years.
Now listen to this clip, because even leaders outside the league have started saying what a lot of parents and athletes have been screaming for years.
In sports, we like to have a sense that the playing field is level, that there is fairness in competition. Another really important value in sports is that we want everybody to have an opportunity to play, particularly when we're talking about young people. And as a result, with this particular topic, there is apparent conflict between those two values.
We will defend the proud tradition of female athletes, and we will not allow men to beat up, injure, and cheat our women and our girls. From now on, women's sports will be only for women.
To hear the truth in what is being stated, you don't need to agree with the speaker. What are we really protecting anymore, after all, if biological men are permitted to dominate women's sports? Fans are openly criticizing it as well. No sugarcoating. It's a freaking duck if it walks and quacks like one commenter stated. She is not a lady, Brittney Griner. Brittney Griner identifies as a male. Who is the WNBA trying to fool? Asked another supporter, dragging the league. They were always aware that Brittney Griner was a male. They are now merely attempting to hide their asses. Remember that Brittney Griner has been a leading voice in advocating for the unrestricted participation of trans athletes in women's sports. Watch this video now. It comes from a newspaper interview in which she expressed more than simply her viewpoint. She states unequivocally that preventing biological males from competing against women is illegal. Crime is the term she used.
States who are aggressively moving to prevent transgender athletes playing. And I was wondering, again, I hate to put one more thing on your plate, but in terms of on your radar, where is that? You're going to have a tremendous platform, but where is that going to be on your radar in terms of advocating for, athletes, all athletes, transgender athletes to be able to play?
Oh, I mean, that ranks high on the list of things that I'll be fighting for and speaking up against. You know, everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats and feel safe and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are or like it's just all eyes on them. So I think it's a crime, honestly, to separate someone for any reason. So I definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
She has made it her goal to further that story. In an interview, she even stated that ensuring trans athletes have access to competition was her main priority. No limitations. Therefore, the clip struck a new chord when people began to doubt her own biology because it feels personal and goes beyond a simple stance. She really stated that her #1 priority is ensuring trans athletes have complete access to women's leagues. And at last, people are expressing what the majority of you were already considering. He will undoubtedly object to a ban that would keep him from participating, because players like Brittney might not be eligible at all if leagues ever opted to look at original birth certificates, skin bone structures, or test hormone levels. Not to mention that they actually traded her for the Merchant of Death, a global arms trader who offered chaos, bombs, and missiles to anyone with a checkbook. What action did Russia take after detaining her? It was best expressed by one person. Not all Russians are dim-witted. He was cast into a man's prison. And because Russia was aware, this is the portion that continues to astound people. Watch this now. That was the time Victor Bout replaced her. Take careful note of the framing.
It's the moment she was swapped for Victor Bout. Pay close attention to how it's framed.
She has made it her goal to further that story. In an interview, she even stated that ensuring trans athletes have access to competition was her main priority. No limitations. Therefore, the clip struck a new chord when people began to doubt her own biology because it feels personal and goes beyond a simple stance. She really stated that her #1 priority is ensuring trans athletes have complete access to women's leagues. And at last, people are expressing what the majority of you were already considering. He will undoubtedly object to a ban that would keep him from participating, because players like Brittney might not be eligible at all if leagues ever opted to look at original birth certificates, skin bone structures, or test hormone levels. Not to mention that they actually traded her for the Merchant of Death, a global arms trader who offered chaos, bombs, and missiles to anyone with a checkbook. What action did Russia take after detaining her? It was best expressed by one person. Not all Russians are dim-witted. He was cast into a man's prison. And because Russia was aware, this is the portion that continues to astound people. Watch this now. That was the time Victor Bout replaced her. Take careful note of the framing.